Okay, so when we last finished, you'd arrived at far end, a distinctly unfriendly semi-permanent tent village of a bunch of nomads, possibly several hundred. The the merchants are beginning to travel to far end with increasing frequency, and a small caravan of oxen and wagons can be seen among the tents. You've managed to pull up, but it seems that you needed to try and restock on some rations.
Good idea.
Right.
So
You say there's merchant wagons here already?
there's a one near the centre, yes. It's a much larger caravan than the small ones that you lot are leading.
I think I'll go and have a poke around.
That's what you do,
come
man.
with you don't mind.
Oh, good. Accents are back.
Yay.
So it is. I think if we're near the end, I have to keep the accent up as long as I can. You know?
We'll have a wonder.
I'll follow Crowdan around as he gets in trouble.
I'll head over to the rather large caravan with intent.
Right, you all gird your loins and stamp over to the large caravan in the centre of town. It's pulled round in a circle, and the tarpaulins have been pulled back. Many varied tribesmen bickering and bargaining over things. It's almost like one of those travelling markets that you see in Egypt, things like that. And where do you head? There are several wagons. Near the front seems to be the person in charge's wagon, which is larger and more grandiose by far.
Well, we're looking for feed and rations, so I'll have a look around to see if any of the wagons have that sort of thing on them.
Aye, indeed. There are many. You are directed to the front and asked to, if you ask for Stubbins, he's the caravan leader and the boss.
I'll go to see Stubbins.
Sorry, have we got a map of far end? Because I can't see now.
Looking for a guy called Stubbins.
No, there's no map of far end. Are you all on? It should be on the trail map.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's fine.
Right, you head off to Stubbins, an impressive-looking gentleman wielding a quarterstaff, wearing many signs of riches such as metal jewellery and feathers, trinkets, things like that. He smiles. He has one of those merchant smiles that almost breaks his face in two as you approach. Greetings! You look like men who are struggling under the weight of heavy purses. Perhaps I might be able to help you walk easier.
I will be needing supplies for travel. We'll be looking for feed for horses and tack, etc.
Of course, you're quite some time. It looks like you fellas are from over by Sardar. By the looks of you, you're certainly not the Praxian nomads.
Old Russia, if you take Crowdan's current accent.
Oh, difficult Russian. Sorry, I'm very sorry about that.
Yes, you have a very fluid sense of
I grew up
accent.
in a pub. I grew up in a pub, so you know. No one's quite sure who anybody is.
Very well then. He pulls out his set of worn stone scales, which you recognise is the sign that in the series worshipper is ready to trade. Ready and happy to trade.
Right then, how much feed are we going to need? I'll look around at the lads.
Well, let's see what we have.
Well, I think it's going to take like 21 days to get there, and then 21 days to get back.
So, is there a bargain skill? There is a bargain skill. Does anybody have it, for instance, which may be helpful?
Doubt it, but I'll have a look.
I can seriously doubt that there's any bargaining going on.
I have got 17.
Well, I say I've got 10, but yeah, I'd take it.
8?
Not the ideal bargaining party,
No,
I see.
I mean, it's fine. I'm only going to need fodder for one zebra because I can always eat stripey.
Right, so
Well, I've got 25 bargaining.
who? Sorry, Dave.
I've got 25 bargaining.
After you.
So Shashalian is rapidly pushed to the front.
16.
Yeah, everybody pushes Shashalian to the front. You look back nervously, seeing this. Stubbins lets out a great grin. It's seeing your obvious nervousness. Well then, Dave, do you want to have a bargain?
Can I try to sweeten the
Yeah,
pot a
I'll
little before we start to try and help you? I will say, oh, you're a service priest then, yeah?
I am the worshipper of his mighty all-encompassing travelling trade.
Oh, you might know our Mara then.
And who might that be?
From Aberlane, Gringle.
Gringle. Ah, I see.
Good friend of ours. Always
yes.
said we should trust the Ceres priest if we see him because he'll never steal from you.
Well, that may be as be, but did you see his manservant, the baboon? Johnson? I haven't spoken to Johnson in such a long time.
Johnson, no. He's got a duck. What's his name again? Quack John. Nice lad. Nice lad.
Ah, he says and lets out a smile. You must forgive me, my friend. My memory is slipping. It is with my advanced age, you understand.
Oh yeah, we are a defender. Tournament baboons. We defended his house for a tribe of them once.
Not it, Bolbin.
I haven't seen Gringle in many a day. You can give me an orate or a fast talk roll, but again, Bracey should be doing the fast talking.
Yep.
This is true.
And I should be doing the rate.
Yeah.
I should be staying quiet and letting you do it.
Indeed. One has
But
2 ears but one mouth, so much one must listen twice as much as one talks.
Well, I can't roll apparently. I've got to roll. I'd roll the macro quick bar when I clicked on the roll thing.
Oh, good. Please tell me that rolls are not broken now. If that would just be awesome, wouldn't it?
I'm not actually rolling. I'm just testing it for you.
Yeah, that's fine. Just give it a check.
Nope. Works for me.
Yeah, it worked for me as well. I failed just.
Yeah, bearing in mind I am crap at it.
You
All
failed.
one word.
Even McLovin failed.
Yeah.
Right, Dave. Do you want to?
Yeah, test.
Can I use a rune thing to
Of course you can. What rune would you like to invoke?
harmony?
Oh, an excellent rune indeed. Please, by all means. You succeed, you get plus 20%, so don't forget to pop that in your modifier box before you roll. And invoking the Room of Harmony, you're like, friend, we're all traders together under the big sky. Do you want to give me a bargain roll, sir?
I'm just looking for it now.
will be
Damn. Deal.
right. He still has food available, but your clumsy attempts to knock him down in price. He says, but you've let slip that you're travelling to north to Hidden Green there. Surely all of that coin would be far too heavy to carry all that distance. You can't help but agree. Dave, give me a power times 5.
Yeah, I rolled it.
You succeeded. What's your power?
17.
Right. Okay. Sadly, the stocks have been somewhat depleted. Food stuff he has. He has 1 day's food available for each member of the caravan, and also 1 day's fodder per horse. So I'm afraid stocks are rather low, and
Appear to be so.
Dave is somewhat red-faced and embarrassed when it comes to the bargaining.
So what's it going to be, lads? Looks like we're just like 1 day for food and fodder for all of us.
We'll just tack what we can, we?
So how much then?
He says it's an absolute bargain. I'll tell you, me lowest price as your friends of Gringle. $63 lunas to get this fine fare. It's a dried trail ration, but they are the tastiest dried trail rations you will find in this camp.
I can give them 60 off a trade stick if someone can give them the other 3.
And do the other 3.
I get a bag load of stuff from the Duke then. To pay for it.
Yeah, well,
Is it good? Right here. Yeah, the Duke will have given you a trade stick with 100 lunas on. So so Stubbins grabs his little holy scales, measures off the weight of silver, chops off the appropriate amount of silver, smiles at you and says, "This has been an excellent day for trade. Please, I'll have my associates load the food and the grain onto your carts."
Why do we get the feeling we've been done completely over?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll rub me arse as we walk away.
There has been a taking down of the trousers, I do believe.
The problem is where we're going to get the rest of the food from. It's 14 days to Hidden Green, I think.
Don't
Right.
be looking at me. I'm not that tasty.
What we do is we look where he's bringing the food from and go back later on tonight.
Right.
Probably
Well,
right.
you have enough food now for 12 days if you allow the horses some time to forage.
So we need to get a couple of days for extra food if we can.
Can
I
we
mean, I
hunt
can
for a
hunt.
couple of days' food?
Well, you could certainly hunt on the run if you like.
Yeah, I would say we could hunt on the move, and that should give us a couple of days to fodder we need. I'll
Yeah.
look around. Is there anywhere else in far end we can get fodder from?
No, it appears that he was the main merchant caravan that come in, and because he was the only one that had come in, the services seem to be in much demand. Which seems to be the problem. So you guys turned up late, and
I mean, if needs must, I've brought Spot and Stripey with us, and we could always eat Stripey.
Oh God.
it is true. Andy is Earl is, however, a famed hunter far and wide. As well, that's what he says anyway.
I believe him. I believe him.
We'll find it, but I can't hunt fodder.
Any grasslands round here?
You are at the bottom of a set of hills, so it's kind of grasslandy scrubs. It's as close as grasslandy as you're going to get in this day of parts.
I know this may sort of demean our status as, like, you know, hard drinking, hard fighting roughneck types, but we could always borrow a scythe and go out and cut some.
That's not the worst idea I've ever heard.
Gather unaware.
Well, the thing is, if we gather a bale of like food that we can use for the first day's fodder, since it'll go off quickest, that'll extend us by an extra day. And then we'll just do an extra day's grazing on the way. So the 14-day journey will probably more like 15 or 16 days.
Do you want to give me an animal law type roll? You folks.
I probably don't,
Oh God.
but we'll have a go when I find it.
Oops.
Yeah, easy.
Easy of the peasy. Yes.
No, you just hop on its back and kick it and it goes.
Aye. Hurry up, Dobbin. Croydon, you can probably stretch it out if you ration the grain, but they'll probably have to have an extra day's rest after a day's journey if you ration the grain out, depending on how well you can forage. But that's only to get you in the vicinity of hidden green, and then you have to find it after that.
Right, no worries. We should do that then.
I mean, it doesn't sound like it's going to get any better than that. So.
Right, so you rest up, and the extra grain and food is loaded onto the wagons. Sadly, Dave just rolled unlucky. His power was his connection to the universe was not great.
But I succeeded in the power roll.
You
Hey,
did,
it was better than mine.
but if you'd succeeded in a power times one roll, for instance, it would have had 5 days food available per person.
Ooh. Don't worry, me and Dag will forage. We'll be alright. Loads of food.
Well, Farage, it'll be fine. So it is. So, setting off, you head along the side of the mountains. Unless, of course, there's anything else you wish to do while you're here.
Nothing.
Listen for gossip.
Most of the nomads are quite insular, as they don't know you very well, and won't engage in gossip. You can hear a few if you sit down near some drinking nomads, and you managed to pick up that apparently there is a lunar. The local lunar governor is encouraging Far End, and it seems to be attempting to get it to be a settlement. However, to do that, he's going to be doubling the tariffs on the river trade heading down the Zola Fell.
It's a little steep.
Indeed, lunars and taxes, eh?
Bastards.
Evil. It's unnatural.
It is.
Does that mean we could have a boatload of rations and supplies brought up?
Well, you could have, but you've departed from the river now, Dave. You are heading. The Far End is at the last part of the river, and from the mountains, and you're heading across the east, across the front of the mountains.
Yes, to that very small settlement called 14 Days Approx.
Ah.
Sorry,
It's
couldn't
where it
resist.
turns out to be a settlement called. It is Runequest. Glorantha. It could actually be a settlement called 14
Very
Days.
true.
Approx.
Yeah, it certainly could.
I will range ahead and hunt for game as we go.
Okay, do you want to make a hunting roll there, Al? So you need some tracking. A tracking roll.
Work.
Yeah.
I'd better not help.
You help by standing in the place where you don't want the beasties to be.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you managed to bag an extra day's worth of food, much to the relief of Quack Tavish. It is some kind of small antelope, not very large, but enough to keep you going on a night.
Aye, because those lizard man tails is not going to last forever, you know.
I'll just range constantly, forage as we move, see if I can hunt anything down, even if it's small game. Just it won't slow us down. I'll just keep up with the caravan as we go because it's not exactly the fastest thing in the world, is it?
Yeah, you're following Naren, who's guiding you along the chart. He says, I'm looking for the appropriate landmark, but it's going to be at least 2 weeks out.
Yeah, no problem. Keep our heads on the swivel there, boys.
On the swivel.
On the swivel, indeed. It's obviously unusually rainy as you are passing several small streams running out of the mountainside. Can you give me a spot hidden?
Everyone thing, or
Yeah, everyone as you're travelling on.
Scan, yeah.
Scan, yes, I keep confusing Runequest 2 with Runequest.
Wood for tree.
Yes, for once.
Hurrah! Don't forget to tick them. Right, so off to the side of the trail, maybe 40, 50 metres, you squint and you spot something, movement in a small scrubby patch of brush. To you, it seems like it is possibly a couple of goat-headed brew that seem to be watching the caravan travel along the side of the mountain.
I sort of allow me zebra to drift back through the caravan, letting the lads know as I pass. Without standing up in the saddle and going, "There's brew over there."
There's brew in them there hills.
damn the hill.
I will cast protection for myself out with my crystal, and then I will cast detect enemies.
What's the range on detect enemies? It's 50 meters, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's definitely 2 light up, but they seem to be unmoving as they are under the impression that they have not been seen. and you far outnumber them.
Right. I'm going to stealth towards them. I don't know if I'm going to sneak towards them. I don't know what everyone else is doing.
Right, it's kind of like scrubby plain, so it's going to be difficult to sneak towards them.
Could I try to distract them by very slowly sort of wandering over to the stream, hopping off me zebra and letting it have a drink? You know, as though that's what I was going to do anyway.
Yeah, you certainly do that.
In the hope that they'll look at me and not say Crodan sneaking around behind them.
Well, Crodan would have to dismount from the other side of his zebra and then, like, commando crawl.
Yep, I'll do that.
Across the floor. Right, okay, then make
So,
a sneaky roll then for those wily commandos. And
Do I need to make one?
Jesus Christ.
Oh, bloody hell, man.
yeah,
Ah.
so
oh,
So I'm standing there nonchalantly at
Yeah.
the edge of the stream, holding the reins in one hand and just casually resting my hand on my sword hilt with the other.
yeah, Croden has crawled about 10 meters away, and then you come upon some small rocks, and a scorpion leaps out, brandishing its tail, just a large normal scorpion. It's right next to your hand, so you let out a yelp, and thus completely negating your ability to hide. So the creatures are about 30 meters away from you. They say they've been had, and there's a rattling in the bush, and you see them turning and running off to the southeast.
Can I put an arrow into one as it retreats?
You're 50 meters away. I'm not sure what the range is, but you can certainly have a go.
Right, well, hang on, let's just see.
Let me have a look.
Might actually be a sling stone, but I scroll down and have a look.
Yes, it certainly should be. Yeah.
Aye, wait a minute, where are we?
Range 80.
I-
Oh yeah, so you can certainly.
I
fire
have a
it.
sling. Right. Cross your fingers, chaps.
Oh, special as well, right? You strike it in the buttocks, and it lets out a howl of pain, having taken a small amount of damage.
Also change your hit location there, Andy.
Yeah, I've
Oh,
just
yes,
realised.
yes,
I've
it's a
just
bird.
changed it. My apologies.
I think 9 is still abdomen for
I
humanoid
believe it
creatures.
is, yes. So yeah, Andy strikes at one. Earlier, you letting loose an arrow.
Yep. I'll shoot at the other one.
3 again. It gets through its raggy fur and thing and only causes a minor injury. But Earl's shooting at a 4-legged creature. So
Oh, for fuck's sake. How do I change it again? I forgot.
On your character sheet, your front one on main, left side, below the hit points, which is below passions. Should be dodge,
Got ya.
hit location, all that.
So sorry to interrupt, but just all this use of slings. I saw a picture today, 1500 BC, an ancient Greek sling stone with etched in it in Greek. Catch.
yes,
Saw that.
that's great. Right, so you're actually going to get several shots as they run
Even
as
better
far
then.
away as possible, because they are now 48 meters from you, Andy. 38 meters from Earl.
I'll get a second attack
How
as well.
far away from me are they?
48 meters, Dave. You stayed with the caravan. McLovin, you are also 38 meters away because you did move quietly. Earl has shoved the small scorpion that is starting them out the way with the toe of his boot.
I'm going to cast mobility and go after them.
Right.
Jeez. So my whole squad has just decided to run out.
Oh, what a shot!
Yeah, Blondel, you strike the creature in the abdomen again from behind. So the creature that's been previously been shot in the buttocks is once more
Right in the starfish.
right in the old starfish there. So let me have a look at the.
That's gotta hurt.
It certainly does. So,
Just let me know when I can have another shot.
how many damages did you do, Dave? You did 6.
Yeah.
So that is right. It's howling, but it has taken some damage. It is definitely limping. The other one has only taken minor damage. Right, so you've cast mobility bracelet and you've taken off after them. It's going to take you about 3 rounds to catch up.
That's fair enough.
I'll after seeing them doing an actual prolonged combat with them, I'll hop down and like follow them out a bit. I don't really have a ranged weapon that I'm really good with, so I'll just let them deal with that. But just in case there's more of them that decide to come down or something.
Yeah, makes perfect sense to me. So, there are.
I've got a second shot at this round.
I know. I'm making a note. 48 meters away and 38 meters away. Right, go on. Shoot, Cruden.
Don't shoot Croden.
That does not penetrate its ragged furry armor as the arrow shoots and goes through the ragged straps.
It's all right, Crodan. I'll get it.
Go for it, yeah.
Bugger it.
Yeah, a sling stone goes wide, and they continue to run. So Bracy is running at 16. Yes, of course you do. So Bracy's running at 16, so is therefore.
That should slow it down a bit.
Ouch! Are you shooting at number 1 or number 2, Dave?
The one I hit before.
Oh. Right, he howls in pain as that goes through, and his right arm hangs limply. And he passes out on the floor, having ran out of hit points.
Awesome.
Leaving one who looks down at his friend and then casually abandons him and runs away. Brissy is closing in on them. You are only maybe 10 meters behind them now, Brissy.
Cool.
They're 48 meters from Croden, and he is 58 meters from the general party. So you are about 12 meters behind him. So another volley of arrows and slingshots, perhaps, I guess.
Yes, please.
Shoo, shoo.
Ouch. Yeah,
That'll do it.
left leg, nice. Goes in. Doing. Right, his left leg crumbles beneath him and he falls prone to the ground, barely visible in the grass.
Missed the bastard thing.
I'll see it,
Yeah,
but I'm
Andy had aimed a perfect shot for the back of his head, but sadly he fell over when Croden's arrow stuck in his leg.
Under the circumstances, I don't mind a bit.
Okay then, Bracy, you run up to see this brew struggling with an arrow in the back of its kneecap.
She's seen me.
Trying to crawl away from you. Yeah, you run over, towering over him.
Right, is he still holding his weapon?
It's not drawn. He has a shield and a club at his side.
Kill it.
I give him I give the universal signal for stick your hands up and stop moving.
Oh, okay then. Make an intimidate roll.
Go.
Right, so he doesn't appear to speak much trade speak, but he stops moving as you threaten him with your whichever weapon it is you've got drawn, as you have quite a few.
Me axe.
Okay. His leg is not working, and he is surrendering.
Right, while this is going on, Rich, can I do a couple of things?
You
First
can.
of all, I want to scrabble around the edge of this stream and see if I can pick up some little stones that'll do as sling stones.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to remount me zebra and keep an eye out in case this was a feint and the rest of them are over the other side.
Makes perfect sense.
That's what my thinking was.
Right, so you go along there and start scanning.
Do you want a scan roll?
Yeah, certainly do.
Righty-ho, 2 seconds. And you can have one. There you are.
Right. Pick the bones out of that. You scan, but there's nothing else apparently waiting in ambush. Looks like these were maybe scouts that had just spotted you. So, you need to look something up. Right, he stops moving and holds his hand up, Percy.
The chaos worshipping motherfucker holds his hands up.
Can he walk, or is he completely crippled with his leg?
His leg is completely disabled.
He can hop, can't he?
I'll just wait till somebody else turns up, and then I'll tie some rope around his wrist, and then we'll drag him back to the party.
Sufficient.
That is excellent news. Excellent news.
Don't be bringing that chaos anywhere near me.
Right, okay. Well, roll. So, is anybody else turning as you see Bracey tying rope around the wrists of this brew?
I'll be like, what are you doing?
Going to drag him back, interrogate him, and then I'm going to off him anyway.
If I were you, I'd stay well away from that thing.
Right, well, he's already tied him. So, Bracey, can you make me a con ×5 roll, please? Now that you get close, it smells like a rotten sheep. You can see ticks and other insects crawling through its goat-like fur. And it's dirty and smelly. Yeah. So far you seem okay. You tie its wrists together and then half drag and half pull this thing towards the rest of the camp.
I'll keep stepping away from it. Don't bring it back here. Kill the fucking thing.
Well, I'll stop him.
So you finish the beast off, dear.
Is it worth trying to interrogate it, Earl, or will we get nothing out of it?
I don't fucking care. I didn't want to know anything you said. You fucking man, care bastard.
The fuck are you? What's with your accents, man?
I'm having trouble with it.
Getting it down.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, you shouldn't really interrogate it. It is a worshipper of a chaos god, and as far as I'm aware, they do some horrific things to people. So.
Okay, well, I was going to just find out if it was a scout or not, but alright, certainly put an arm on it.
I'll shoot in the head.
Right. If you recall correctly, Bracey, the last time you were given to deal with brew, you were handed like surgical clothing, masks, and gloves to handle them because they're highly contagious and spread all sorts of foul diseases on their body, and you've just been handling one.
Ah.
I look at McLovin from the safety.
McLovin realises this and is like looking down at his hands.
Yep, there's a stream. Have a wash.
Get the carbolic.
He needs to wash more than his bollocks.
Do I need to roll or can I just shoot it in the head?
No, it's pretty helpless. You get a plus 40%, etc. So you can just, the thing looks quite happy to be taken alive.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
Holds its hands out for Bracy. You obviously shout all this and then shoot it in the head. It falls dead with an arrow in its eye socket. Presumably, you're just going to leave the arrow there.
Yeah, and I'm going to shoot its mate who isn't quite dead yet either.
Right, so swiftly dispatching the two brew, Bracy is sent off to a stream.
A brew.
Himself.
By himself, yes.
And I'll be like standing 100 yards away shouting things like, now take all your clothes off and scrub them bastards too.
So, Bracy, in the you're naked in this stream, scrubbing everything and washing your clothes like a washerwoman.
And I'm going to watch him like a mother with a small child who doesn't like washing his hands, like all of them.
Keep watch around like the hills and stuff.
I'm really sorry to do this, but I'm going to trot over to where Crowdan's standing, sort of nudge him in the ribs and go, I've got a couple of pairs of kicks now doing. Do you think if I chucked them over, he'd wash mine for us while he was on?
Do you want to get them near his clothes, like?
On second thoughts.
Wow, okay. Right, well, I have just rolled, and the rest of the journey passes uneventfully. Bracy doesn't come down with anything nasty, although you make him ride off to the side by himself.
Yeah,
for a couple of days.
Just stay there.
And you get along here to where you're going to start to turn north, and Nib is looking for the correct place. I mean, it's quite obvious on this map, but because it's a Bronze Age civilization, the maps that you get are not great.
I know Halfling does wonderful maps.
Unless you get them from Treasure Trove Herbie.
That's what Ryan's playing in D&D. Doesn't know yet.
Right, so passing through a deeper stream, you eventually have to turn north. And I have rolled, and there are no other encounters that you spot.
Nice.
As you turn north now, you can see the awesome snow-clad crags of the Rockwood Mountains in the morning, in the evening. And you head into the mountain proper, and then up the escarpment towards Hidden Green. And the problem with Hidden Green is it's called Hidden Green because it's green and it's hidden. And Narlan and Durali say, right, we need to find the landmarks. There's a rock whose shape is that of a llama, and there is an old dead tree that looks like a tribesman squatting down. So we need to find some landmarks. And they start to roam wider, looking for the place.
Can we help?
You certainly can. You'll need to make scan rolls.
Right. Hang on.
Right. So Blondel, yeah, indeed, you do spot the rock that looks like the head of a llama. And Andy, you spot an old dead tree, and it does look like a Praxian native sitting down taking a crap. And he says, right, over there.
So to go. Is this it?
Aye, 'tis squatting Gorgoth.
I try not to burst in a laughter.
27 look roll. All right, well, in that case, Naren says, yes, so we line up the two creatures and we wait until the sun rises, and where the sun rises we line it up between the two landmarks, and then we head down that way, and that will take us straight to Hidden Green. So you only have to wait for a couple of hours until the sun is in the correct place.
Well, we put out boots and shit.
Yeah, ready my sword and shield because we're probably going to get ambushed.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to find somewhere to hide because we're going to get ambushed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right, so you circle the wagons, as it were. At this point, the horses are out of grain, and you're down to, if you've been rationing food, you're down to the last day or two of food. And as you look towards the direction, there seems to be a large party of high llama riders. There's obviously a couple of important ones, as you can tell by their large decorated weapons and their fancy armors, and 5 of the smaller ones that you just see them in the distance, and they are heading sort of to the east. One of them gesticulates in your direction with a spear, but they continue onwards.
Is that good, bad, or indifferent?
And what do llamas taste like?
Well, I'm sure you'll work it out. I'm not sure if it's good, bad, or indifferent because I don't know much about Prax. Can I make a world law roll in case I know anything about?
Absolutely, you can
Llama
roll
riders?
away, young man. Roll away. I'm trying to
just
click
need
on the
to find my
icons to get the
world.
character sheets up because I'm used to playing on Fantasy Grounds now.
Yeah, I'm struggling a little bit. I don't have world law. Doesn't exist.
You'll have some kind of law, I'm sure.
I've got homeland.
Homeland law.
That'll do.
Oh yeah, I know loads about these guys. 98.
I'm not really sure.
Blondel. What you know, what you've heard of the llama riders is they're a bunch of cannibalistic savages, and you quake as you hide down, praying to all of the gods that you know, and saying they're gonna eat us. They're gonna eat us. McLovin. Yes. No. You're probably going to be all right because, judging by the state of the two, one was in heavy armor, which is unusual, and carried a big, impressive-looking weapon. And he was accompanied by somebody that had many fetishes beside him. So it looks like it was a Khan and his accompanying priest with their god. So if they wanted you dead, you would probably be dead already.
Okay, cool. Are they? Oh yeah, they're not heading towards us, but they're pointing our direction. Aren't they?
Yeah, one of the guards had pointed over with his spear, to say, "Oh look, there's people over there," but they had ridden on.
Well, if I'll make myself seen, and if they look back, I will wave to them. Just let them know. Yeah, we're here. We see you. You see us. Everything's okay.
Right. So the sun gets to the appropriate point in the sky, and the guide leads you this way. We're not far now. As you come down into a hidden valley, it's kind of like scrubby, rocky hillside. But as you ride into the corner, you see a cluster of low trees, acres of bright grasses and several grazing llamas, 2 bison and 1 rhino.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah. The other thing that you require that is also verified by the guide is that all oases in Prax are protected by the Truce of the Desert. All recognize and revere water provided by the founder Waha. Waha declared that no man should be denied shade, food and water.
Does that mean we can't kill the creatures that eat them?
Well, you could try.
Nah, I think I won't push my luck.
But at least
Good
with a
idea.
bit of luck, that solves the fodder problem short term.
Certainly, there's plenty to graze the horses on at the edge of the valley if you wish to stop.
Yeah, we'll do
The
that.
horses are obviously clamming, so they are eager to stop, but you could drive them onwards if you like.
Would it not be worth stopping and trying to gather some more food and store it?
Yeah, Earl, do you want to try making another tracking roll?
I will.
Gadget code in.
But yeah,
Nice.
Oh, it's a special. We'll have a D3 plus 1. Oh, you get 4 days worth of food for the humans. As you've shot several small rabbit-looking creatures, a couple of deer, and some gopher-looking things, which probably would be tasty as kebab.
exactly.
Put in! No!
As you were hunting and shooting things, and the horses are grazing, can we have some scan rolls from the rest of you, please, who are keeping watch and enjoying the lush pasture, which is just protected enough from the sun that it's a nice lush green place, so it's actually pleasant rather than beating down upon you.
Wow, look at that.
Look at those scan rolls. Yeah, as you stand there while the zebra graze. You see, riding towards you are 2 bison and 2 high llama.
From which direction?
Heading from the north from the hidden green. We come within shouting distance. One of the high llama riders yells in a crude, heavily accented form of Fridrock. Hold position. Approach no closer to the oasis. We do not like you horse folk. We do not want our water spoiled. It will be unfit even for our animals to drink. There are too many here now. We do not want you. Turn back. Re-enter the waste from when you came, or become a resting place for 100 spears. You rein in and turn to the side and walk.
Well, that got my back up straight away.
I'll turn around and say, we probably shouldn't start a war, lads.
Yeah,
because
it's probably not the best idea.
Is it supposed
one of
to
you
be-
gifted chaps want to go and persuade them that they should let us through because we're really nice.
So what's this thing about the piece of the oasis there?
Well, it's more of a set of guidelines, really.
I'm not sure that it applies to non-nomads.
Yes, do you revere Waha and all of his little Wahaians?
No, but we're friends with the Agamori, and they're well. Oh wait, no, they don't like them either, do they?
No.
Well,
who's stepping forward then in that case? Who's
yeah,
you tell him, Dave. You tell him.
Because I'm not going to be the one this time because I fluffed it last time. So I'll look at Bracy and Davy. And
I'll go forward.
Uh-huh.
Please, gentlemen, we've come so far. We have only staying for a while. We're heading to a castle to do some treaty work, and I'll use my art tree.
Okay. Wow, look at that array. Well, 3 of them look down upon you, because if you remember, these are 2 of them are bison riders. A high llama rider is actually taller than a bison. It's kind of half the size of a giraffe. They look down at you, and he says, "You're not wanted here." Are you saying anything else, Dave, in this speech that you're given?
We have been requested to come by a great lord up north who lives in a castle. What's the name of this bloke that was seen anyway?
Gone order.
Gone Otter.
They stop and they seem to speak to each other in a language you do not understand. And he says, "We do sometimes trade with Gonorta, but you can go around. You can travel north for 7 more days, and you can be there." Do you want to perhaps mention something that you may have heard recently, Dave?
What have I heard recently?
Does anybody have any ideas what Dave could mention?
You could mention that when there's brews on the plains, they're not a big fans of the brew.
No, what you made your world law roll to.
Or the piece of the mention the piece of the oasis.
I mentioned the piece of the oasis as well.
Well, okay. So how do you mention this?
I said to him, but gentlemen, is it not said that the great water is bestowed a peace upon this oasis, and if there bids any fighting, that the water and the annup feed is for all who needs it.
Right, you the whisper again between the. Well, they don't need to whisper because you don't really speak practically. They speak to each other. 2 of them shrugs. One of the bison riders is shaking his head vehemently, but the other one says, "I was not sure that the horse people such as yourself would know of the laws of Waha." Says, "It is true. To gain Oasis, you can take part in the 5 ritual contests of Waha.
Oh my god.
If you succeed, you'll depose the tribe who has failed you, and you may take their place at the Oasis."
Sounds like a plan, that, doesn't it? That's it, the lads.
I'll let you know, Earl, and go, could we not just ask them if they could bring us supplies rather than, kicking off and causing a skirmish and shit?
No, I think we've got to play the game.
He says, "I am Alani the Swift. To win the right to water and feed at this Oasis, you must prove you're as quick and smart and as skillful as we are. For each contest, you must choose one party member to compete against our chosen champion. Each of the champions will represent a different tribe in each contest. If you can win 3 of these contests, then the defeated tribe with the fewest numbers will leave the Oasis. You will be allowed to remain with us, and we will trade if you like."
Oh,
I'll look at Earl and go, dance off, bro.
we're up for this shite, like. I'll turn around to Dave and go, "Tell him, yeah, we're up for this shit."
He says,
Yeah.
Alani says, "Please follow us." And he gives you an appropriate amount of time to ready your horses, which are busy filling their bellies with the sweet, sweet grass.
Next time we'll come up here, Andy, let's get a lawnmower. We could make a fortune. The ride on.
Good plan.
One of them God learner things.
Right, so you're led closer. You can see a lush oasis surrounded by hundreds of Praxian tribes. All of the tribes are represented. You even see some of the rare ones, like the pygmy ostrich riders and one or two of the gigantic armored rhino riders stopping about. You're not permitted within a couple of 100 meters of the oasis, but Alani says, make camp here. I will bring out the elders and we will discuss your position in the rights of Waha.
Radio then, lad.
This will go extra well, and we won't have to end up doing something very desperate to get to Granada's castle.
Oh, I'm sure we'll be dead clever in this. We'll use our strengths against their weaknesses. We've got it, boys. Don't worry. Faith.
Okay, riding out, you see a representative from each tribe. They introduce themselves and say, I speak for the tribe of the bison. I speak for the tribe of the llama. I speak for the tribe of the zebra, etc., etc. May we sit at your fire?
Yes, take a seat. I will even break out one of the beasts I recently caught and we'll start cooking it.
Right.
And I will give it the peaceful cut so they know we are civilized.
Go on then.
And
This is
I'll
where
offer them salt as well to sprinkle upon their meat.
I will use my harmony rune to get a bonus.
This is where Earl just massacres it. They're all like, oh my god.
Covers everyone in blood.
just spraying blood everywhere. Yeah, salt's not usually used as a condiment, Dave. It's usually used as a preservative. So they do take it. They just think it's weird foreigner stuff. It's like, why is he sprinkling salt on the perfect good meat?
I'll tell them it is our tradition to offer the salt and
plus 30% means you succeed by 2%.
I'll try to look really, I do this all the time.
Yeah, so Earl slices up a beast, which he then begins to roast, and they sit down cross-legged with you. This is because you've invoked the tests of Waha. We will test your knowledge against ours, your skill against ours, the courage behind your weapons against ours, and the strength of your riding beast against ours. 5 judges will determine the winner of each contest. You have the right to choose one of the judges. Make sure that he is a man or woman of honesty and integrity. Sands of the desert will scour the skin from the bones of a liar.
I would choose Ryan, but it says the strength of your weapons, so there'll be. Can the judges still take part or not?
So, it says, these are the judges we have chosen. We have chosen Shemshi, an Aritha woman of great gentleness and fairness of mind, who hails from the Narma nation. Cartulin, bouncer, famous Impala master and father for nearly half a nation, is another. Grey-skinned Grick, without rhinoceros, will also judge. The bison person, Toida, completes our choices.
And can these people not perform in the contest?
No, they can't perform in the contest.
I mean, I'm sure someone in the party is. I mean, Tricksteriest is still good with his sword.
Okay. In that case, I will.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're on about making Ryan the judge. Yeah, Ryan will be able to partake in the contest as well.
Right. What's your character called again, Ryan? Sorry.
Kane.
Kane will be our judge. He is a man of honor, a worshipper of the war god, the death god Humac. He has killed dinosaurs, slayed the White Eyes gangs, defended Gringle's pawn shop, became friends with Leardo the Griffin, hunted down Pinfer the bandit, made friends with the Agamori, and travelled the hero plane. for Tycor attack.
Very good. You must succeed in three victories in 3 of the contests. The 4 judges will each vote upon a winner at the end of each contest. You will get to choose your contest. We will choose a beast against beast contest, an obstacle course, a joust, and conformance with the covenant are the 4 contests that we choose.
Embrace it, do a rap battle.
Yeah, that's a good idea. No, Bracy is fast talk riddling, Rich.
Yeah. I would say fast talk is riddling.
Okay, we will choose the Orlanthe power of the riddle.
Right.
As our competition.
Very good. Where would you like this competition to go? You can go anywhere between 1st and 5th.
Well, I'll turn around and look at people ideas.
Good, because like a midway, like if we can win it, I'll give us that morale boost, you know.
So first, we will go first.
You will go first. 'Tis a brave choice to make. Oh, Sons of the West. Name your contest.
The riddles of Orland.
I haven't like riddle me this or anything like that.
Okay.
Each contestant asks a riddle, the others have to answer it.
Very good. The same simple. We will select our champion and meet back here in 10 minutes.
Okay. I'll when Bracy they walk away, I'll turn around and say, "I know one riddle." What about anyone else?
What have I got under my loincloth?
No. What do you call 1,000 dead lunars?
A good start.
Exactly. That's the only one I know. Does anyone else know any good ones?
The mirror that can't break.
What always ends everything? The letter G.
Oh, that one's just terrible. Although then again,
name me something that'll start a fight every time. Roll for initiative.
Right. So you step forward, and he says, "I present the champion of the ostrich folk, Fars the snake-tongued."
Oh dear.
Now, please, do you wish to go first or second?
Well, it's
I will go second.
I've got a couple of riddles if you need them.
Oh, I've got a good one.
Very well. Fars the snake-tongued. I'm going to, as this is not a skill that the Praxians will normally possess, will have a skill of 40%. So, right. He asks an incredibly easy riddle. Sort of, what is the colour of the ground that we all stand upon, yet all beasts eat, or something like that? So please roll your fast talk skill. If you fumble, because he failed. Right. So how do you deal with this? You don't have to come up with the exact word, but like what sort of attitude? Because it's a contest. Did you see A Knight's Tale?
Yes. No,
Yes.
I
You know the way that Chauncey was going round and playing to the crowd because you were appealing to the judges and role playing and shit.
No, I don't take the piss out of it. I'm quite noble, and I take my time answering to him and let him think that he's got us, but then I answer at the very last second.
There's a ooh noise comes from the watching crowd of nomads. Go ahead, ask your riddle.
I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?
Roll your fast talk ball. Oh, it's an 82. Oh, he fluffs it badly. He begins to stutter. He looks wildly around him and looks about, sees the mountain above him, and he goes, mountain, valley, passes. So did you?
No, my friend.
Did you state how many riddles it was to?
No, we didn't. Best 2 out of 3?
Yeah, best 2 out of 3.
Best 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
And Mappy says, "This is not fair. This is something that is created in civilization. A real nomad needs no map to be able to navigate." Right, so he goes and asks. Oh, it's a good riddle. He succeeded by 15%. He asks a riddle relating to nature, something that you may not have seen in your part of the world. Make your fast talk roll. Okay. Wow, okay, that's a success by quite a lot. So how do you deal with this one? He asks you the riddle. The watching tribesmen are all agape like, ooh, boy, he's got him now.
This one's slightly more arrogant in the answer. I just kind of look at him and just go, and then raise my eyes to the sky and think for a couple of seconds, then just give me the answer.
And we're like, oh. Right, so roll for your second riddle.
Remember WWOD.
It's a good one again, man. That fast talk. Yeah, you obviously flustered him now, and he gives a completely inappropriate answer. That some of the nomads even tisk as they realise it's completely wrong and turn their backs upon him. And Fars the Snake Tongue is sweating, something that the Praxia nomads do not often do. And as you bring the contest to a close, you say, "I believe that was best 2 out of 3." So, Kane, you're sitting in a line with Shmee, Carleton, Grick, and Torva. How do you vote?
McLovin's the winner. Clear winner.
Yes. There's a lot of cheering and a few jeers, but not many. Shemshi, the Aritha priestess, she sits there, mostly naked, covered in body paint and sigils of snakes. And she says, "I agree. McLovin is obviously the keener of tongue and quicker of wit." And there's a great cry comes up. There was no cheating took place. Oh.
I go to the priestess and go, "Yes, my tongue is very clean and Berwa."
Carleton. Go ahead, description of Carleton. Carleton Bouncer, the famous Impala Master, just nods. A man of few words nods and says, "I declare McLovin as the winner." And Grick. Right, Grick does not look happy. Grey-skinned Grick, the Rhino Rider, and he says, I think that Forrest should win because the other one speaks pretty tongues of words we do not understand, and it's not fair that he uses words that the people of Prax do not understand and votes against you. You suddenly realise that this may not be quite as simple as actually just winning. However,
luck to it as well.
Torvda the Bison person lets out a big grin, and he looks almost as if he's happy to see Forrest put in his place in news. No, I declare, McLovin, the stranger, here's the winner. What has blessed him with a mighty slick tongue. And then there's a lot of cheering.
Give him a big bow.
As you win the contest. 4 votes to 5 to 1.
You get there in the end, right?
I'll get there in the end. It's maths, man.
Well, I'll walk over to the guy who's lost and I'll embrace him and tell him, good contest, brother. Good contest.
He says, you should not be allowed in here, you strangers. You can tell he's obviously a bad loser.
Don't want to play him on Fortnite.
He says,
he knows my brother well.
No, I would not like to meet him in 2 weeks either.
Okay, that was good.
Yeah. So, Shemsi, the priestess, stands up and goes, the first contest goes to the newcomers. The second contest is beast against beast. The nomad Mangrel, warrior of the bison riders, destroyer of brew, he shall ride against the others. Please name your champion.
Riding.
I'll turn around and ask her, what is the competition?
He says, Mangrel, step forward. And he's a big, muscly guy with like a bison headed thing. And he says, the beast against beast challenge is two riders must drive their beasts to defeat each other in combat.
I don't think that one's going to go well for the horse, but
Okay, who's good at riding? Mine is 30%.
mine, yeah.
Any of us
be looking in my general direction.
Was any of us born in the saddle, boys?
No, mine's 16%.
Anybody else?
If anybody can manoeuvre a swimming contest, I might be all right there.
Oh, that would be good at swimming competition in Pratt. You drown some fecker. Let us swim, and you've got all these nomads looking at each other.
What is this swim? You immerse your body in water. Why would you immerse your body in water? You need to drink it.
Like,
oh,
I
God,
just
I'm
borrow
melting.
cracks.
Does anyone got higher than 30 ride? Please.
No.
Should have practiced that
32.
ride when you had the chance.
You've got 32.
Mm-hmm.
Well done.
Right,
We
so
will choose McLovin as our champion.
McLovin, the silver-tongued one, is also the rider. Right. Now's the time to use those runes.
Oh, yeah, runes are a good idea.
All right, so Nilgum comes forward and says, I think you're going to get your head kicked in. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, hang on. Can I just ask a question before we
Yes.
start? Have they said you can't use divine magic?
No, if you remember the rules of a duel or a contest, they are generally stated between the two combatants before the contest begins.
Give us a second. I need to look up Beastmaster.
Oh my God.
Oh, no.
Neil Big, or whatever he's called, the guide. Why do they have like little names like hidden in tiny places in this scenario? He leans in and says, no one will expect you to stick to the head button, as your mount can only kick. However, he's a skilled rider and his mount is vicious. And you can see this like snorting bison. It's kind of like it's got scars on its forehead where it's obviously head-butted at quite a lot of things, and it snorts and drools and stamps the ground. Mangrel is smiling.
2 seconds, I'm looking up another spell.
Um,
I might be able to win this just by making it. What happens if his bison just walks off?
Well, you'll have to say, won't you?
What are you doing?
Remember, if you're using rune magic, it's flashy and obvious. Like, you're surrounded by glowing runes and things are close. So
No, I'm
it's
not.
It's not impossible to cheat. Mangrel says, "Just headbutting. I have no problems with anything you want to do. My beast, killer, will defeat your puny zebra." And he sort of like holds his arms out to the crowd, and he's like, "Oh!" And the crowd's like laughing and jeering, looking at the quite small and skinny McLovin, the silver-tongued, and his zebra. The zebra looks at you worriedly, Bracey. It's like,
I let them
really?
go. So the actual rules of the competition, what have we got to do? Unseat each other? Or I take it it's not like a fight to the death.
No, it's not a fight to the death, but traditionally, it's a headbutting contest between bison riders. But as you cannot headbutt, nobody would probably think twice about you using kick instead.
Would it be bad if I was to put protection on the horse?
Well, it hasn't been specifically. They haven't specifically. Normally, a competition or duel, you would say, right, to first blood or no magic or that kind of thing. Nothing has been specifically stated because Mangrel is so confident looking at it, and it is a mad psycho bison. You look at this bison, and this thing just looks like it wants to kill you. It's like I'm sure bison is supposed to eat grass, but you swear to God, if you chuck the bacon joint in front of this thing, it would just like munch it down.
I've got a bit of a plan, Earl.
Okay.
How about, right, I go off an oratory with fast talk for a couple of minutes, and at the start of that, I cast glue about level, and I'll throw a couple of power points behind it to glue his fucking bison to the floor so he can't move. Then I'll just trot up to him, turn me fucking zebra around, and kick the shit out of it.
Right, so your zebra has kick and rear and plunge at 25% because it's not trained. But you will have to make a riding roll. So basically, you have to make a riding roll to stay on, and your animal has to make their attack roll.
I'm just wondering if the glue will hold the bison to the floor, though.
It depends on the strength of the glue versus the strength of the bison.
You're gonna need a lot of fucking glue.
I could just cast like mobility on my zebra.
So Mangrel is basically working the crowd. He's like doing the old Hulk Hogan, like holding his hand to his ear and going woo 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 woo.
Can we sharpen the zebra's hooves and cast blade sharp on them?
I don't think can. If you had what's it called? It's not bludgeon.
Crush.
Iron hand.
Iron
hand. That's iron hand works on hooves. And he's got a shimmer matrix.
We're just spam disrupt on the bison.
What does the shimmer matrix do exactly?
Gives the 5% chance, I think, per point for an attack to miss or something, or is it reduces the opponent's attack chance by that amount? I can't remember the specifics, but it's something like that.
Have I not
But
put
it could help.
It could help, yeah.
absolutely.
Well, in that case, I shall sidle over to McLovin because it's on a ring, and I'll just press the ring into his hand when nobody's looking, as though I'm shaking his hand and wishing him good luck.
Yeah,
Stick
per
that on.
point, it's -5% from any enemies attempting to hit the affected target.
Stick that on, son.
So how many points have you got? Is it Shimmer 2 or something?
Yep, Shimmer 2.
So it's a 10% penalty. So the horse sort of like, you casting it on the zebra or on Bracy?
Well, it's a ring, so I'll give it to Bracy, and he can do what he wants for it. Because I'm not quite sure how you put a ring on a zebra.
Well, you don't basically. It's a matrix, so it's like the all the ability to cast the spell is in that ring, and you just use your power points to power it. So you put your hand on the zebra and then focus your power through the ring, and it will let you cast Shimmer 2 on the zebra, which will last 15 minutes.
All right, well, I'll do that one.
And then it starts to blur and shimmer. The nomads are like, ooh. And Mangrel looks around and goes, "You've cast something upon this beast." He looks at you, McLovin.
And I go, huh? Honest?
Well, it's obviously shimmering, but like technically, what you should be arguing is like, well, it was not prohibited for any spell to be cast in.
Yeah, I give him a fast talk roll and say, well, it was not in the rules. Nobody stated magic could not be used.
Yeah, go on. Is that your fast talk roll there, or is that the last one? No, that's the
Oh,
last
I
one,
think
isn't it?
that'll pretty much do it.
Yeah, he was boasting that he would take all comers because his bison is so mighty. He has nothing to fear from you whatsoever.
There we go then.
If I cast glue on the bison's hooverage,
Mm-hmm.
even though it might not stick to the ground, might possibly inhibit its speed and dexterity?
No. Glue's in either it works or it doesn't, kind of
Glue yourself to the saddle.
deal. This is your plan. Glue yourself to the saddle.
Yeah.
No. I was thinking about gluing its hooves to the floor. So even if it breaks, it's going to be like, what the fuck? And it's not going to be able to move very fast.
And since we've now established that magic is allowed, if it all goes horribly pear-shaped and you look like you're going to die, I'll sever spirit the bison.
That is somewhat outside the bounds of the contest.
How about which I cast glue on its eyelids?
Then it won't be able to say, good plan.
Exactly. And it's not going to be that strong with its eyelids.
It wouldn't work on its eyelids.
It's got to be used on an object, I think, doesn't it? I don't think you can necessarily just use it on a person.
Glue sticks to any living tissue. To any living tissue or living organic material, but works. Sorry. Glue never sticks to any living tissue or living organic material, but works fine on things like a door frame, clothing, one leg, sword and a scabbard, etc. Glue two objects to glue up. They must be relative to each other and not moving.
Rich?
Yes.
Is he holding on to the bison, the fucking bison harness with both hands?
No, generally the Praxians can steer with just their legs. They are such skilled riders. The ball.
So gluing the hands to the harness wouldn't do much good. Damn.
No.
Well, I mean, don't you want to knock him off anyway? So gluing his hands to it would make it a bit.
Yeah, but
Oh,
even
no.
even funnier when he goes pretty arse over in front of the
I
zebra.
suppose.
Oh no, you're not trying to knock him off. The traditional bison clan contest for beast against beast contest is the two bison stand next to each other and headbutt each other until the first one falls unconscious.
Oh, okay.
I can't do that. I'm on a zebra.
Exactly. That's why Nilchris said no one would probably think worse of you if it kicked instead, because you have kick at 25% and rear and plunge at 25% against a cavalry trained bison, a psychopathic cavalry trained bison. You know, when you look at some animals, you look at them and you just go, that animal is fucking rabid. That's what this bison looks like.
Lovely.
I'm desperately trying to come up with a plan here.
Don't you wish
worry about
Earl
it.
was the one?
I'll just have to be particularly spot on with the Sever Spirit. When your zebra's hooves land,
Oh,
all they've got to do is
you're not
touch its
allowed
head.
to deliberately interfere from outside of the contest, so you will not be able to sever spirit. Well, you could, but that would probably be classed as an immediate loss or cheating or whatever.
We'll get set
Cheating?
fire.
Perish the
You
bloody
can
thought.
get away with stuff if you're doing it surreptitiously, but sever spirit in a bison in the middle of a headbutting contest is probably a bad thing.
Well, just before he rides to the competition, I'll pat the bison on the arse and mobility. Not the bison, the zebra.
Yeah, but mobility 6, please.
So, well, Shimmer's probably going to be the most effective. The most effective thing.
I would add a protection if that would help.
You can't
It doesn't
stack 'em.
stack with Shimmer, sadly.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, and it's unlikely that protection would be more effective than Shimmer.
Well, we've done what we can.
I wouldn't.
Are you ready?
Yeah,
No.
do your best.
Contestants ready.
Illusionary sight is that.
Reaching.
Yes, I'm just wondering though, is that me making an illusion or seeing an illusion?
It's you probably seeing an illusion, I would imagine.
Well, no, he's a trickster, isn't he? So cheating's sort of your thing, Britt.
Yeah, I know.
It is.
I was just wondering if illusionary sight are going to make it like a duplicate or make the bison see an illusion of the zebra that's not there. Of course, and I kick the shit out of it.
Oh! I'm liking it.
I am as well.
I'm liking it. That sounds very trickstery.
If illusionary sight works, but I don't know. I'm trying
Is
to
it
find
rune magic?
Yeah,
rune magic.
it is a stackable. Each point of the spell covers a volume of size 3. One casting of the spell can completely cover an area the size of a small child. If 1 point were used to create the illusion that an adult was covered in armored plate, only a portion of the adult would appear to be covered by armor. So yeah, you just create a visual illusion.
However,
which
the problem
registers
is
upon.
It's quite a zebra is quite a big thing.
Yeah, it's going to be a.
I've got illusionary sight 1 to 3, so if I put 3 points into it.
But
why don't you do illusionary sight 1 and just put a pair of black contact lenses over its eyes so it's blind?
Needs to go to fucking Specsavers.
Superb.
I am liking it.
Illusionary sight. I'll put a prism lens in front of its eyes so it can't see what the fuck is going on.
That's class.
Shit.
Yeah, so I like it, but I think you'd probably normally rune magic is get big and flashy and it shows up because you're a trickster using a trickstery spell. I'll let you have a sleight of hand roll to get away with casting this without it being so blatantly obvious.
Yeah, that makes actually a lot of sense.
Okay. Well, okay. We're sleight of hand.
Because the whole point of rune magic is like, you know, you want people to know you're channeling the power of your god. But obviously a trickster, you're like, not so much. Remember, you can use passions. You just can't use the same passion or rune in the same event for different things. So you can use passions to increase your chances of things, and runes, you can use different runes.
I will use the passion of loving my clan or tribe
Bastard.
because I'm trying to help my friends.
So if it's blind, it has a base. Yeah, so you get a 20% bonus to your sleight of hand.
Right, I'm trying to find. Slight. Okay. Would that be just slight?
Yeah, it should be under your
Yeah.
Oh,
a special.
done, son.
Right. So the you mount up and the beast snorts and looks looks strange, and Mongrel's like, "What is wrong, killer?" It's sort of, the bison sort of snorting and shaking its hair side to side as tiny lenses of darkness appear in front of its eyes, which move as it looks left and right.
I trot off on an angle, on a nice casual pace, looking at him, holding his gaze, giving it la 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 la.
Right.
La, la,
It looks that Mangrel looks confused, and he starts to say, "There's something wrong. Perhaps we should."
I'll get to about 15 foot away from it. Then I'll kind of like do I'm putting my zebra in reverse. And then bang it up and go,
Beep,
kick!
beep, beep, beep.
Yeah, beep, beep, beep. Then I'll get him to kick the shit out of it.
Right. So can I have
I'm dying.
a riding roll?
Die.
Can I have a riding roll and just roll a D100 for your zebras? He's got 25% kick.
Kick his fucking head in.
So,
Oh, God.
right. So the bison attempts to headbutt and goes wild. Your kick goes wild. Can you make a riding roll as well?
I'm just going to go hard right now.
Or Mangrel easily stays on. Right. So you teeter and totter on the top of this. The bison has gone wild, but you look like you're possibly going to fall off.
Oh no.
Easy, Tiger, easy.
Glue yourself into the saddle.
I glue yourself, mate.
Is that what you're going to do? Glue the breeches of your pants to the saddle of the zebra?
Be awkward when he tries to get off later.
I was
Tracy?
born in the saddle.
Tracy, it's all about you.
What did I roll, sorry?
You need to cast your spirit magic spell. So Tracy begins to fall off. Succeeds in casting glue and glues his pants and boots to the saddle of the zebra. So you'd begun to fall off, so you're at a slightly cocked angle, hanging in the saddle. This bison is thrashing and snorting, and right, let's make a round 2 roll. A 94. No, the bison's well off. You just
Kick
need
his head in.
you need to
Right. What do I do? Just a ride roll.
just roll a D100 because we don't have the stats for yours. It's got 25% chance to hit. As it whoa! It rears up. Is that a rear and plunge, or a kick? Because you're supposed to be facing it. So you dig your heels into the horse. It rears up and it does 4d6 damage.
Holy! I shouldn't be using a sword. I should just be carrying a zebra around and just smack
You
it away.
scabbard.
Yeah, just
Right, it's hit location 6, which is
leg.
it's going actually.
Got to be the head, surely, isn't it?
It's going to be a D10 plus 10. Sorry, because they are facing. So it rears up D10 plus 10, and 19 is head. So with a sick, you reel the horse up with a sickening crack. The 2 hooves come down. Can you please roll me 46?
He did. 12 damage. Yeah, he
Oh
did.
shit! The bison has 9 hit points with 3 points of armor.
Good night.
So with a sickening crack, the bison's eyes roll round in a circle, then come together in the middle, and it goes crunch and falls to the ground. With an incredulous look, Mangrel leaps from his now unconscious bison, and shouts, "He cheated! He cheated!" And he begins to pull his axe from his back. "I'll kill him! He cheated! Look what he's done to kill her!"
Now, don't be a sore loser.
Oh, there's going to be a fight. Fight.
I would try this right, but I'm glued at the saddle.
You might need to get someone to give you a hand with that, like just sneakily take a
But
dagger
it's
to
got a
it.
crowbar.
So so
You walking like John Wayne with a salad.
Are you just shouting this, Ryan, or are you doing anything
Yeah.
else? Are you stepping between them, or?
Oh yeah, I'll just step between them and put my hand on my broadsword at my side
Right.
and
Okay.
like lean in.
Right. Do you want to give me an intimidate roll then, and we'll see how intimidating you are. Your voice suddenly cracks like, "Stop it!" Wow. Okay. So you put your hand on your sword, say stop with being a bad loser, and it looks like for just a second, Mangrel is gonna take a swing at you, and then he looks at your death rune, and he looks down at your sword, bound in a black cloth, and he just spits on the ground and says, "Very well, you are judge. It is time for voting. I'm sure the vote will go my way because he cheated like a dog."
I just ride off on a 60-degree angle on the zebra, smiling.
60 degree. Oh god.
Kane, how do you vote?
Somebody get me a fucking crowbar.
Says, oh my god, only in Runequest. Kane, how do you vote? Says Shemshi. She's got a slight smile cracking her lips.
As entertaining as McGullivan is, I think he still is the clear winner in this one.
Because I've got a table here. It says results. Player characters obviously win even if cheating. Right, let's have a roll. She says she smiles and yes says yes. His technique is somewhat unusual. He is, however, victory. Cartoolin says agreed. It was a magnificent contest. Rick says no. He's obviously glued himself into the saddle. Is nobody else seeing this? He's quite obviously glued himself to the saddle.
I'll nod at him when he's doing it. You know, while he's shouting this, I'll stand there and agree with him.
And he says, I vote he loses because he's glued to the saddle. And Chimsy says, yes, but technically nobody forbore people gluing themselves to their mounts. And finally, Tavda agrees with Rick. Tovda, sorry, and says, no, he quite obviously glued himself to the saddle. Did nobody see this? Like the rest of the nomads surround you are hollering and whooping. But because it is 3 votes to 2, you do claim the victory in the Beast Against Beast contest.
I'll go over and help McLovin down from his saddle, but like try and use me dagger to like scrape the glue.
See, and they're like pointing at him going, he's quite obviously glued himself to his saddle. Are you all mad? Oh god.
I fucking love this game so much.
I'll surreptitiously pull myself out of my strides, which are glued to the saddle, and go, oh, what do you mean? Look, I'm off the saddle.
McLovin dismounts, leaving his pants glued to the saddle. Luckily, the bison only is on 0 hit points, so it's not dead. It is just unconscious, and so Manny quickly revives it with a healing too.
I was gonna say Bobbin would go over and help with that as well.
Right. So
Does his face and have a cross-eyed look to it now?
it's got one lazy eye now because like he's hit it so hard in the head, it's like off to one side. Right. Shemshi says two victories for the strangers. Unusual though they may be. One thing is certain, that the tribes will be speaking of McLovin for many a year to come.
How long does the contact lenses last for?
It's a rune spell, so it's like an hour. Unless Bracy decides to cancel it early.
I can't like when the zebra, when the rhino wakes up, I can't sit out. They go, well, look, I can see fine now. What you're about?
Well, nobody had mentioned it not being able to see. They were all fixated on the fact that you quite obviously glued yourself to the horse.
A cunning diversion, little tricky man.
Mr. 60 degrees there.
So, two contests have been done and 2 have won. And the third contest is the obstacle course. It tests the mastery of man over the beast. Our champion will be Kremen Birdspringer, master of the Impala.
The riding thing again.
This
Isn't
is another riding thing.
Get back! Get back!
Get back!
back in
He needs his trousers back.
After 15 minutes, his trousers will unglue. You're not going to make Bracy do it again, are you?
Yeah, he's the only one. He's the best rider of us.
Best rider, but man,
That's saying a lot. Right.
glue yourself in your saddle again.
I can't do it because I'm literally crying here. Right.
Right, what's the
I
next?
can't
What's the next
stop laughing.
competition?
The next contest is the obstacle course. You will ride. It's broken down into 5 parts. You ride along the crest of the ridge and pluck off one of the feathers being fixed to the lone tree. Then scramble down the hillside, spring across the creek, and jump across the bushes with a blanket over them. And then duck beneath the high llama that is beside Alani at the end.
Right there, with cast more ability on his zebra.
Can I see his feather to glue it to whatever it's stuck to?
The feather is stuck to the old. It's tied to the old tree, which is further away down the obstacle course. Right, so Kemen comes forth. Kemen is a pygmy riding a impala. You know that an impala is a little thing, like a springbok impala. They're tiny and fast. Yeah. Masters of the blowgun are the pygmy riders of Prague, and they're fast.
What are the exact rules of the race?
He says, I have witnessed you, tricky one, and I say that we will not be able to cast spells upon our mounts nor each other's mounts. This I declare as my rules for the contest.
Hold on a minute. Not be able to cast spells on our mounts or on each other's mounts. So cast something like Mobility 6 on McLovin, he does it on foot. Loophole.
McLovin gets off the thing and just runs it.
Sounds like a plan.
No, you can't. Mobility doubles your movement. I don't think you can stack it.
You can't.
Thank God for that. The Agamori, if you have an Agamori character, do not have the ride skill. They have the running skill. So they just run everywhere, like Forrest Gump.
Can I just check? We can't Glovis Impala's fight the floor, can we?
No.
No, but you can glue the rope's feather to the tree. So you
That
can't
one.
pick it up.
Instead, we glue the feather to the tree. That's not touching him or his impala. So
Right.
There seems to be a lot of glue in this.
Hang on, though. Hang on. I do believe he said that we cannot cast spells on our mounts or on our opponent's mounts. He never said nothing about the spectators casting spells on the mounts.
Oh, I think that's a given.
Jolly good. I was just checking.
But doesn't stop Brixie casting spells on himself or on the little guy.
The only thing is, if you're wanting to use runes and things, Bracy has used most of his up. So, whether you want to take another rider in who has not used all of his runes and passions, that is up to you.
Well, I would volunteer, but my riding is crap.
I'm 30%. I can do it. I just won't be able to do it as well as Bracy.
how bright is light, Rich?
It's just like a torch.
Can you put more than one point into it to increase the brightness?
No. You cheating bastard.
I'm a trickster. What are you about?
The only problem you're going to have is to ride under the high llama at the end. Your zebra's going to be too big.
I'd have to chop his legs out from under it.
So that's going to be extremely tricky.
All right, I've got another thing. He said he's got to pick up the feather, yeah?
Yeah.
If I ignite his feather and there's nothing left, he can't pick it up, can he?
Well, technically, no.
And they've said that we can't cast on the rider or the guy. They didn't say anything about the feather.
That's true. You can borrow an impala, which would fit underneath the llama, but your riding skill would be halved.
No, because I'll just burn his feather, drive it up or whatever, get off and lead it underneath by hand.
Yeah, it's got space for size 14 underneath, and your zebra is size 26.
All right, I'll just drag it underneath.
Sorry, no, hang on. It's size 20. So it's going to be some go getting it underneath a llama.
Rich, is there any like brick-sized rocks around here?
There's lots of brick-sized rock.
Well, we'll just put the high llama up on rocks.
On bricks. So yeah, basically that will be a big problem, is getting your horse.
Well, if I put the bloody the llama on its side, or like lift it up on its back legs and then drag me zebra underneath, that'll do.
You are most certainly not going to be able to lift a high llama. The thing is half the size of a giraffe.
Could you get your serious question? Could you get your zebra to nail down, and you get off and lay it underneath?
I don't think you can get horses on their knees to walk forward with their knees.
Zebras do it to drink sometimes.
That would gonna have to be some badass ride roll to get it to do that, I guess. So, do you wish to borrow an impala, or are you going to try some kind of crazy shenanigans when you get there?
I'll try some crazy shenanigans. Not quite sure what yet, but I'll try some crazy shenanigans.
Well, why don't you borrow an impala and try some crazy shenanigans?
I could tow it.
Right. Okay. Well, they'll lend you an impala, a skittish little creature. You're quite short, but even so, you're on the upper limit of what the beast can carry. You line
no,
up.
no, it's all right. I'll get my zebra.
How are you going to get a zebra, a size 20 zebra, through a size 14 space?
Soon fucking find out.
Duck.
Oh, he's got a plan. Oh, I can't. Bracy, I'll whack myself
He
to go
has
into out mental.
no plan. Right, so there's a rope held in front of you by two braves, and
Somebody cast mobility on the zebra.
the use of spells in this contest is forbidden.
Yeah, you can't use them.
Right. So
Oh, right.
the rope.
Well, that completely negates the plan. Then.
You can use spells on him though.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, my bad. Okay. Fine.
Right. So the rope is dropped, and you both dig your heels into your animals. Okay. Part 1. You ride along the ridge line and attempt to grab the feather. So make your riding roll.
Right. Basically, I want to burn his feather.
Kemen easily makes the riding roll, gallops quite ahead. You fail. You don't fall off, but you fall behind. So make your spirit magic roll as Kemen reaches the feather, and he has to make a dex times 5 roll, which he succeeds. Right, so he grabs the feather, holds it
I
aloft,
burn the shit out of it.
looks back at you with a contemptuous look on his face, and then it bursts into flames. And he looks and goes, "What the fuck?" And then
I pull my back it up, get my feather, then just trot onto the finish line.
Right, so you trot over to the feather. It's a dex times 5 roll to grab the feather. And then he attempts a riding roll to scramble. Oh. The Impala scrambles down the hill quite easily. Yeah, you reach over and you grab the feather.
Right, I go for the finish line then, or the
Right, well, first of all, you need to roll a D100 for your mount to get down the scramble. $21, right? It succeeds, but you're quite far behind. He is already at the creek jump. The llama attempts to jump and fails. His Impala leaps through the air, mistimes it, and lands and crashes into the water. He makes a riding roll. He succeeds and steers on. However, he's stopped as you come up to the creek jump. You catch up with him. It's a riding roll to jump over it. Oh, it's a jump and roll from the animal, which is 75%. So roll me D100. Right, your zebra easily leaps over the top of the creek, and you take the lead. After that, it's a short ride ahead to the bush jump. That's another jump and roll. So you get to roll first as you're ahead. He drives the Impala out of the stream and dashes up, attempting to catch behind you. So you've got 75% jump on your animal. It succeeds. He rolls again. Fails again and crashes into the bushes. What the hell? This guy's supposed to be a Praxian. And falls off. Right, so he crashes into the bushes. There's a short yip noise as he goes arse over tit and lands, disappearing into the bush. Basically, casually trots ahead, and you reach the high llama.
Right. Now, how many room magic points have I got left?
I'm going to have a quick pee because I'll wet myself if he starts.
Oh, will you come back then?
Okay.
Sort of terrified.
Right, so after that short break, you ride up, you jog up slowly to the high llama. The Kemen is in a bush somewhere, scrambling to get back on his Impala. You merely have to get your horse under this, and then a short ride to the victory line. You can see all of the Praxian tribesmen and women that are standing around watching a bit like a Formula One race, laughing and pointing and jeering at Kemen. So, what do you do?
Well, I know what I want to do. Whether or not I can do it, I'm not quite sure yet. But this is what I want to do. I want to cast Command Cult Spirit, Air Elemental, and go, lift him in the air, right underneath it, then go, when the other guy turns up, drop it on him, but try not to kill him. And I'll just go trotting over the line.
Right. I like it because you're a trickster, so I am going to allow it. You need to roll on a rune to successfully cast or divine magic. Technically, you would have to cast summon cult spirit.
Right. Well, I suppose I can sit there for a couple of turns and if it doesn't work. Oh, God. Right, what do I need to click on to do that? Because I can't see anything.
Your runes at the top of your character sheet. Right at the top of the character sheet, right next to your hitbox, it's got elemental affinities in your runes. Right, do you know what? As it is such a trickster thing to do, I'm going to allow it. So you cast your divine magic. The Alani stands there looking at his llama, looking at your zebra, which is not going to fit underneath it. And with a mere flick of the wrist gesture and upwards, the llama actually levitates enough that you slowly dismount, walk the zebra underneath the llama. Kemen has finally scrabbled on his Impala. Then you casually mount back up and ride over the finish line to much cheering from the nomads.
I'm trotting over the line like a cocky motherfucker.
Right, so again, this is such a trickster thing to do. Again, Shemin has a smile on her face. She calls, Kane, how do you vote for this display of beastmanship?
I think it was fantastic. He actually made it look effortless. McLovin's a clear favourite.
Right.
Jeez. McLovin, destroyer of tribes.
I must agree. The rules were adhered to. At this point, the slightly bedraggled small pygmy with bits of bush hanging out of his hair rides up and he shouts, He cheated! He's quite obviously cheating!" And Shamsi says, I believe that he adhered to the rules of the contest that was stated. Cartoolan agrees, roaring with laughter. He says, "This is the most wonderful display of whatever the hell this is that I've ever seen."
Oh my god.
Grick's like, "But he used magic. He lifted up the Impala. No, I thought that he struck him from it for cheating." And Torva holds in a grin. Torva's the bison representative and says, "No, for once I must disagree with you. I agree with Shemshi. He certainly used Waha. He channeled the spirit of Waha and the spirit of survival to use many tricks to survive." Shemshi says, Very well. This is 3 out of 5 contests. I declare McLovin the victor. He has earned the right for access to the Oasis. It says, Kevin, your tribe must leave and give place to these people here. Kevin throws the burnt remains of his feather on the ground, stamps his feet, and storms off. There's much rejoicing.
Nicely done, McLovin. Impressive.
It is a shame that we did not get to the further contests, for I would have liked to see you in the joust, and particularly conformance with the Covenant.
Oh, I'm sure he would have done just as well. Considering I have no idea what the last one actually is.
Sounds dangerous.
Shems, he says, 2 young impalas are brought in, and the 2 champions must lasso an animal, kill it, and then properly butcher it with peaceful cut. Then skin it so that no part is wasted.
Hey, we might not have even used McLovin for that one. That might be a you thing.
Yeah, that kind of sounded like my kind of thing. Oh, I'm quite upset now.
Yeah, I should have probably done a
go
different
back and
order.
vote against him a couple of times.
What, just make it harder?
Yeah. Well, but get
she
our
says,
supply
well,
on.
you can always challenge Alani for fun. It's not an unknown thing for the tribes to, as entertainment, to challenge each other.
Tempting though it is, I think we're probably best supply up because we've got a perilous journey ahead.
No doubt.
Good
Although,
God.
nope.
Wait, good God, about just how
Just this.
basically
all-
just destroying all your content by being just a tricky little bastard.
It is the absolute epitome of the trickster, though. There's nothing you can argue about that. There's no way that can be disputed in the Runequest.
Nope, it's like, competition. You can even do it an all anthe, but you cheated. Well, you didn't say I couldn't.
Yeah, you specifically. Nobody said at any point, no cheating. Right.
Yep, it
So
wasn't
Bracy,
specifically stated.
That's right.
The nomads that you have not competed against all clap you on the back, bring you off, say, come drink with us, give you free beers.
Sweet. I'll bring the lads round.
The Impala riders in a huff all gather up and depart, and you get filthy looks from that bison rider.
It's an enemy for the future.
And his bison killer. So while Bracy goes off and gets drunk with the nomads, what are the rest of you doing? Chemsy says, you've earned your right at the Oasis and we'll be happy to trade with you.
Better get our supply on then.
Yeah, get some supplies, get all sorted out, get the whole of the zebras all ready for the next stint.
And see if we can find out any information for Ornatus Castle, possibly.
Yeah, good idea.
Gonorta is a true giant, and it's also a Rune Lord priest of Viserys. He comes down in fire season and trades with the tribes. Many strange and wonderful items. His castle is well known to be a place full of wonders and magics.
Yeah. I like that guy in the campaign I played with.
Yeah, Gunnar was a dude. You rescued his kid.
Awesome. Right.
That's fun.
So, suitably refreshed, you trade the rest of your trade stick and silver away to get enough food to last 7 days to Gonorta's castle. You're going to need to get food to come back, but for now, that is the main problem solved.
Can we ask? Now we're in the Hidden Green now. On the way back, We obviously don't want to go through all this site again, just in case we're wrong. Could we store some supplies for us on the way back?
It's not that kind of way. It's literally just an oasis. There's no buildings or tent city or anything like that. It's where the tribes come to refresh themselves and things like that. So there's not a town there or anything.
Okay, just thought I'd check.
Right, so you head off north out of the Hidden Green, having made some friends and some enemies, into the Valley of Avalanches. Is extremely narrow, often closing to 50 meters across. And along the floor runs a small seasonal stream, still bubbling and cold. There's ample water, and there's a lot of small animals and fauna. Should you be not adverse to eating frogs, a few small fish.
You know who's in this party, right? He's already eating them. Avalanches are very dangerous. They're horrible creatures that live at the top of mountains and they don't like noise. So let's keep it down.
So 80 frogs quietly then.
Right, so as you ride the last section of journey to Gone Orta's castle, I have to roll something apparently. Ooh.
Oh no.
I'll
Oh
keep
no.
mobility handy.
Right, you see here a small pack of hyenas eating the carcass of what looks to be maybe a llama or an impala on the other side of the small stream, on the opposite side of the Valley of Avalanches.
Good for them.
So not stopping, you just drive past while keeping a wary eye upon them.
Yeah.
They stand forward as if to fend you off from their kill, but because they've already had a kill, it passes without a further incident. The valley is 100 kilometers long, and very steep ridges to either side are piled high with snow. So you travel carefully up the gap past several deep valleys, eventually coming out of the valley and without further problems you arrive tired, dirty, however, at Gone Orta's castle. Gone Orta's castle. Right. You travel along the long winding canyon. You come to a high stone wall blocking off further travel. A huge giant sits behind the wall, outlined against the sky. His seat is carved into the mountainside. He does not move. As you approach, you see several trollkins scurrying about behind the huge broken gate.
Right. I'll trot forward.
Yeah, I'll stay close behind him, but give him enough space so he actually, demands a bit more respect. I don't know.
Right.
I usually get.
As you stride forward, a trollkin comes forth carrying a huge bronze shield. Peering from around the shield, which he can barely carry, he shouts out, "What's your name and business?" "I am Panai, chief of Trollkin and emissary for the giants of the castle." As he speaks, another giant appears above the top of the wall and strides to the gate.
Greetings, I am Crodan. We have been sent here by our lord to trade for an item.
And what would this item be? The Lord Gone Orta has many items.
A sword.
He has many swords.
Don't we? Are we trading for it, or are we just picking it up? I can't remember.
No, you brought the eggs, if you remember, to trade.
We have eggs to trade for the blade of my lord's family, which we believe is in Gunnott's possession.
It was called the Roan Sword. It was
The Roan Sword.
He says, "Please wait here. I will speak with the Lord, and we will be back in a few moments." And the Trollkin hurriedly runs back to the castle. A few minutes later, the second giant steps over the wall, walks towards you. He's about 30 meters tall.
Oh,
And
God.
a great booming voice, he stands before you, looking down upon you. "I am Bosch Bizzle, merchant of Ateres and trader for Gone Order. I know the sword of which you speak. It has acted very hostilely whenever I attempt to evaluate it. It has lain at the bottom of my jar for many months. What do you bring to trade?"
We bring these, and I'll get the eggs out. These are eggs, live eggs of the condor from Condor Crags.
If you truly have the eggs of the condor, then this is a good place to begin the bargaining.
Okay.
Gather such items that you wish to trade, and be ready to meet your bargainer.
Very well. A moment while we discuss. I'll turn around and go, okay, who's doing this?
I mean,
Is anyone good at trading?
Caravan, Hannah? Caravan master?
Caravan master, eh?
Like I said before, I've got bargain 30.
Right, you'll do. Davey, you're up.
The caravan
we've got-
master might be better than me.
that is true, but it depends if we can get the caravan master to do it or not.
Yeah, I would have thought the caravan master would probably be the best person to do it.
Yeah.
But
Well, we can have a word. I'll go and have a word with the caravan master.
Very well.
What's your percentage in trading, mate?
What is your
Bargain.
beat is sharp dealer, the trader, room priest of Ateres.
Oh, yeah, he'll do.
You wish me to bargain on your behalf with
We
this Bosch Bizzle. Very well. So I shall do as I have been employed by the Duke. So, a couple of hours later, Bosch Bizzle steps back over the wall, carries a sword a huge sword in his, which looks tiny in his massive hand. And he comes and sits down. The ground shakes as he sits cross-legged in front. And the intense bargaining begins. They're both masters. Both of trade gods, although one is the Sartite trade god and the other is the lunar trade god. And this contest goes on for several hours, backwards and forwards.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually Bosch Bizzle inclines his head and he says, "Very well, I shall wait here." Beatus comes over and says, "He's a very skilled trader. He wants all of the condor eggs and 2 magical items."
What?
Let me have a look. It's what I have.
Well, we have stuff in the party fund, I noticed.
We do.
A tusk from a flying tusk rider, a magic crystal from a flying tusk rider, a valuable magical necklace. They're both magical. A scroll of lance increase.
That scroll of lance increase would certainly count as one. You weren't sure what
Yeah.
to do with that.
Yeah, let's chuck that in.
Um,
Oh, look, what about the just sorry scroll for the design of a lifting machine? That's the sort of thing that might tickle about his neck, his back of his throat.
I think both of these might suffice. I mean, might have to chat with him a bit, I'm sure.
Very well. He says, I will consult Bosch
Thank you.
Bissell.
We
And he
should
strides forward.
really,
What,
we
sorry?
should really have identified the magical necklace and the crystal. Like
Well, I
this
thought
one
you were
shut up.
given the two scrolls. The
we are,
design.
but I'm saying we should have identified those. Could have been using them.
Yeah, we could.
Not to worry.
Well, you can pay them to identify them because you're in the right place.
How much do they charge?
For an evaluate.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Say 30 lunas.
Yeah, I'll pay 60
That's
lunas, get them both
just
identified.
for these evaluate skill, which can fail, or you can get them to use the spell, but that would be like 100 lunas.
200. I'll pay the 200 lunas, get them identified.
Very well.
How nice of you.
So, first of all, Bosch Basil says this is acceptable. Hands the sword over to Beatus, who comes to you and holds it out. It's got a decorated scabbard and an engraved blade. Sorry, not an engraved blade, an engraved pommel and crossguard. They're not decorated with gems, but they are extremely well decorated with, like filigree and twists.
Mm-hmm. I'll
And he holds it out in the scabbard and he says, Bosch Bissell says he's pleased to be rid of the thing as it is hostile towards him.
There you go, Kane. You best guard this.
yeah, grab that and put it. Get it strapped on with.
So you grab it by the
Safekeeping.
scabbard and you strap it to yourself, yeah?
I'll grab it with. He said that it was like. What did he say specifically about it? He said it was like. It didn't like him or whatever, or something like that.
Yes.
So that would make me think that perhaps it has like a bit of a mind of its own. I'll grab it with like a cloth. I don't want like direct contact with it per se, and just strap it with that way. Don't want to grab the hilt, basically.
Yeah. Bosch Bissell says, he says, Bosch Bissell says that Gonorta, and he indicates the giant. Now, Bosch Bissell's like 30 meters tall. Gonorta's hundreds of meters tall. Sits there with holding his Assyrian quarterstaff in the throne carved out of the side of a mountain. Quite a sight he is. Bosch Bissell says, following the tenets of Assyrians, there are magical items for sale, although I'm not sure that we could afford them. But I believe you wanted these items identified.
Yes, and then we would like to see what he's got for sale.
Right, they are the magical crystal is an 11-point magic point storage crystal,
Nice.
and the valuable magical necklace has an extinguished matrix in it.
Ooh.
Can we inquire what items he has for sale?
Certainly. He says, although his prices are quite, like I said, he's a skilled bargainer. His prices are quite expensive. He will not come down any further. There is a befuddle ring set in silver with an emerald worth 3,000 lunas. A bludgeon 3 nail made of iron be set into wood worth 4,250 lunas. A detect gems wand carved of ivory worth 1,800 lunas. Mobility sandals, rather worn, worth 1,700 lunas. Strength gloves of unknown hide, 1,500 lunas. and a Power 6 storage crystal agate worth 6,500 Luna.
Oh, so if he wants 6.5 for a 6, we've got an 11 here. Might be able to trade it for a couple of things. If anyone's heard anything they desperately wanted.
Well, we're probably going to really need fodder and food to get back.
You are.
Well, I've got 100 gold left.
I've
100
had some.
Lunas.
Now, as you look on the other side of the wall, you see that the valley continues on and opens up. And on the other side of the valley, it's a lush green.
I'll turn around to the trader and say, what's up there?
He says, this is the path between Prax and Balazar.
Never heard of it.
It is a wild country, barely conquered by Lunas. In fact, not conquered by Lunas at all. They have some small patrols out there. There's a famous mountain there, apparently the top of which is guarded by fierce griffins.
Oh.
Indeed. But I
So,
suppose we better get the sword back. Did anyone hear an item that they desperately needed? If not, we can trade for fodder and get the hell out there, yeah?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, I
I'm
didn't.
fine.
Nah, it's fine.
Well, if you want anything, we've got an 11-point storage crystal, so we can trade.
Nah, I'm good.
I was going to say, because I could probably try and trade it for one of the lower items and the 6-pointer, and then give the 6-pointer to someone.
Mm.
If not, who's got the lowest storage crystals?
I don't have any.
In that case, have an 11-point storage crystal, unless anyone thinks otherwise.
No, that's
No, I
fine.
think
That
that's
sounds
a
fine to me.
Good idea.
Thank you. What do you use them for?
You put power into them, and you can cast magic out of them. So basically, it's like just having spare magic points.
Ah,
so you cast your magic points into the crystal, Dave, and it stores it like a battery, and then you rest a day and get your magic points back. But then when you cast a spell, you can choose whether to use it from yourself or from your crystal, and use it like a battery, so you can cast more
Very
spells.
useful.
it turns out I could have used that.
Right then.
Right, you have the sword. Bosch Bissell goes back to the castle. Peter says the trade for fodder is handled by the Trollkin in charge. It's beneath his trading, so however he still is a reasonable bargainer.
Okay.
Very well. We will require fodder and rations. What price do you set?
Right, so
Quick question for anybody who knows.
Mm.
You can put spell points in your crystal. Is there anything in game that allows you to put rune magic into a crystal? Or something?
oh yeah, it's called True Stone, and it's
I can show you where there's a big bit.
very hard to get hold of and very, very, very expensive.
And there is a rather large bit just sitting on the ground.
Yeah, when the adamantine mountain known as the Spike exploded, an enormous block of true stone fell from the sky and buried itself, crushing the devil beneath it, and tiny chips of it. It's possibly the most magical thing in Glorantha.
And I believe it's about a mile high and a mile wide, and it's sitting on the devil's head. So
Yes.
people get quite upset when you chip bits
Yeah,
of it.
there's legions of Stormbull berserkers guarding the block, because every tiny chip of it that is taken off reduces the weight upon the head of the devil, holding them in place. The devil, as in capital T, not a devil, the devil. So obviously, the more that people chip off and go, oh, this is really expensive and magical, then the less the weight becomes upon him. And if enough of it is chipped away, you'll be able to break free.
which will end badly.
Right,
Or
so
at least that's what they say.
for excellent amount of bargaining, because the Trollkin is a lesser skilled bargainer, although still very good. 3 lunas per day's food or fodder.
Oh, we've got 100 lunas, so that will give us 30 days.
Yeah, I'm put towards it as well if we needed, but I should be fine with that, right? Or is that 30 days in total split between everyone?
Whatever you want to buy. The Castle of Gonorta has massive storage silos and warehouses. It's the place.
How much do we have in total right now? Like each, rather?
How much have you used all of your trade stick now that the Duke had given you with 100 lunas on, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, not money. I mean, supplies already. What do we have left? Or do we not have anything left?
You could easily feed yourselves by travelling through the Valley of Avalanches. So, I'd say you probably had about 7 days worth of supplies left.
Okay. Well, we should definitely buy enough to take us maybe over it a little bit. Like what we'll need to roughly get back, just so we have a bit of leeway. The last thing we need is to, get sidetracked and run out of supplies.
There's definitely going to be shit hitting the fan on the way back.
Right.
Probably.
So,
does Gonorta have any temples in his castle where we could get rune or magic back, spirit magic?
there will definitely be there'll be definitely a temple to a series. There will also, because it's a multi-religion place, they generally have a shrine, like a generic shrine that you can pray to your gods at, but you do not have permission to enter the castle. They're not even opening the gate. The giant is stepping over the wall to bring things backwards and forwards. Yeah, because you are new travellers and unknown to the area.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
Right, so the fat loot, have you deleted the 2 scrolls?
I will do it now.
And you can
Fat loot.
add in the you had 2 bottles as well. I have in the GM notes that you have unidentified. You want to pay to have those identified?
I only have enough to get 1 identified.
I can get 2 identified because I've got quite a bit of cash stones.
Right, I'll make this evaluate roll of 23. So he sort of like he looks at it, he sniffs it, and goes, "Oh, I see. You may want to keep those corked up. It is 2 doses of potency 12 manticore antidote."
Quite useful. Assuming you're getting attacked by manticores all the time.
I've added the manticore antidote and I've taken off the. I'll edit that as well and I'll change the magical necklace to the. It's a extinguish one, isn't it?
It is, yes. An
Yes.
extinguish mirror.
I've just looked at my inventory and I don't have any money whatsoever.
That's
I
because
don't think I've been paid.
What?
We've definitely split money before, so you might have just not wrote it down. I can't remember how much it is though, because we've done it a few times and we've been paid a few times.
Yeah, the rate of pay is on the fat loot chart. Right, so spending the night there, you trade for all of the items that you wish, and you buy plenty of rations.
Nice.
Boss Basil comes out on the next morning as you prepare to set out, and he says, on behalf of Gonota, I wish to say thank you for the trade. Please send my regards to the Duke. We hope to deal with him in the future.
Of course. Thank you.
So you head back. It takes a few weeks of travel, but you don't encounter any of the hardships that you met. You go back to Hidden Green and are greeted warmly by the nomads there, and easily reach Far End. You head back to the river, and are you travelling down via the Sundome Temple again, or are you going to grab boats?
Travel by the Sundome, I think.
Right, so you travel through the Sundome. You have a pleasant journey. The weather's warm, but not too warm, and you arrive back at the castle bearing the Roan sword.
Nice.
So the guards at the gate greet you warmly as you head in. And what do you do now? Just head
Let's go and see the boss. Yeah.
Head straight to the boss.
I'm going to check on me Nana and Alan.
You check on your Nala and Alan, and they are well. Alan is coming along smashingly. He's doing dagger throws underhand now and hitting the target 6 times out of 10.
Good lad.
She's got her like a wooden thing hanging up in the tent, and teaching him underarm throwing daggers, because growing lad, you never know when it's needed. That
Now, remember to make sure he doesn't let the target know he's coming.
so you head off to the Duke. You turn off. He greets you with his family with a big, warm smile.
Our venture was successful. I'll grab the sword, but obviously I'll take care not grabbing the hilt and stuff. It was said that the sword itself didn't agree with the Osiris priest, so it was like he was unable to identify it and was happy to trade for what we had.
This is amazing. Thank you. Yes, the spirits of my ancestors rest within the blade. He picks the sword, pulls it out. You can see that the whole blade is engraved with runes, and you can feel a thrum of power as he draws it. And although you can't hear anything that's said, he nods as if he's speaking to somebody, and he says, "You have performed above and beyond the call of duty that you signed up for. You have far exceeded everything that I could possibly ask for." He has your contracts brought out. He says, your year of employment is at an end. You're welcome to stay on as my guards. You're welcome to stay on. We'll assign some plots of land for you to build your own homes or farm as you may, or you're free to travel. But know that you will always be welcome at Fort Roan.
Thank you, my lord.
Give him a big grin.
I feel we may have to begin our travels anew, but I believe we will be back.
There will always be a place for you all. And Kane, the offer is still open until you wish to leave. If you wish to become my lieutenant here.
I think my friends here actually need me. So as much as the offer is tempting, I think it's best I stay protecting them and doing what is needed there. But the offer is you know,
Of course, I
very
understand.
well respected.
I have an idea of what we can do, by the way, boys. And Bracy, you'll love this. What we're going to do is we're going to head to Boltholme and we're going to buy a small tavern not far from the Torch of Sartar. And then we're going to have Alan wander near the torch every time the Kalia Starbrow's in town. Except when she comes to be coronated.
So,
Haven't we got to avenge this woman, this last purple knickers lass?
yes.
What? Ah,
Yeah, so there's a great feast held in your honour, and you're proclaimed as noble heroes. You're all assigned a parcel of land in a good square, that where the Earth Goddess likes all of the land apportioned. So you have the deeds to your own land, and
nice.
full pockets, freshly rested, and thus comes to the end the scenario pack of Borderlands as you pack up and work out where to go next.
Well,
That was great.
That was, but we also need to work out what we're going to do next. So I think we need to secure Alan.
Yeah, definitely a secure island. Yeah,
I don't
it's
know
the
how we're going to
future.
do that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
We could go to Whitewall. Apparently, it's quite secure there.
Well, there's no better place to hide than right in the middle of them, is there?
Well, I must admit, there's less. The Lunars are less likely to look on in round here, aren't they? Suppose we could hang out here for a while and maybe travel.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.